Welcome to Lay It on the Floor, where real talk hits the mic, nothing gets swept under the rug. A space to speak your truth, drop your mask, and let it all out. I know you guys have been wondering, Nicole, where is the video? It was coming in eventually. I've been seeing your comments. Thank you so much for supporting me. But then let's get to the real thing. This is parental trauma 2. Parental trauma 2, this is where we're dissecting everything one by one. Like I said, branch by branch, leaf by leaf. And we literally get to understand what it is that we really need to know about parental trauma. Previously, in my previous episode, if you've not heard about it, you have to go back and listen to it and then come back again. Previously on my episode, I spoke about parental trauma and I gave a clear definition of what parental trauma entails. And in this episode, I'm still going to continue and say, sometimes we're the problems. And the earlier we accept it, the earlier we embrace it. I'm not saying blame your parents. I'm not saying accuse your parents or... Also them, they had their way of how they received love. They were given love. They were shown love. They had different case scenarios whereby they experienced the world. The world right now is changing. Actually, with our generation, we're speaking up more openly. We are telling the truth more openly. We are allowed to say what we want to say, but not everything is the truth. There's always the truth and there's always wrong. As much as we want to paint so many things in black and white, let's be careful on what we say, what black entails and what really white entails. Real quick into a scenario whereby you're growing up as a small girl, as a small boy, in an environment whereby everything was given, well catered for. While growing up, of course, you won't have this feeling of being insufficient of things concerning with love, things in concerning with the material aspect, things in concerning... I have not experienced that side, but I'm just giving a different scenario. When you meet someone who has been inefficient or deficient from what you have been receiving while you're growing up, of course you guys are going to clash. Of course you guys are going to have different perspective of the world, different views of how things are supposed to be perceived. When it comes to how you handle situations, it's going to be different. And one thing I'd like to encourage everyone is that sometimes, as much as we are quick to judge people, as much as we are quick to tell people, you're not supposed to be doing this, you're not supposed to be doing this, sometimes there are choices and consequences as to why it had to let someone to do what they want to do. But then again, don't be that dumb that someone is treating you like trash, but you do not know how to walk out of a certain situation. I kind of feel like this is a topic of another day, but I kind of feel like most of us, we play a role on situations where we are in. We do play a role in situations where we are in. How did you get there? I'm not saying we should judge you, but sometimes you have to look at a certain situation. If you're receiving something that is not acceptable to you, and really this is why I was saying we should listen to our instincts, you should also tell yourself, walk out and walk away. There's nothing wrong in walking. I'm not entirely saying in relationship, but also in friendship and also in work environments and also in places where it doesn't serve you. If it doesn't serve you, leave. Like, no one will call you a bad thing. The last thing that I've ever seen is everyone judging you and it's written behind your back. I've never seen anyone walk around with judgments written behind their back. Because if it were like that, many of us would have even survived on this earth. Our mental capacity, our mental awareness, our emotional awareness, and also how we articulate things, it all comes from the parental trauma aspect. The way you move around your life, the way you see life, the way you talk to people, the way you indulge in a conversation, the way you treat people. It all comes back to the same thing that I'm saying, parental trauma. There are things you used to see in your environment as you were growing up. People underestimate the fact that when a child is young, they do not know what they are hearing or what they're seeing, but actually the environment is a major factor in how the brain is being developed as you're growing small into your adulthood phase of life. There are certain things you have seen, you have experienced that you do not know they are actually impacting your adulthood phase of life. There are certain ways of life you've seen and you accept it to be as right. And maybe out here while you're growing up, you have to unlearn and unwind and literally tell yourself, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be in a certain way. I might not be all right. I might not be, everything that everyone says might not be all correct. But sometimes let's all learn to embrace the truth. The earlier we embrace the truth, the earlier we accept things for how they are, is the earlier we start unrooting things or plans, unrooting it from deep down, from how it's being from a seed that has grown into a big tree for no reason. The earlier we sit with the fact that there are certain things that we should not actually be entertaining and be doing. Internet is corrupting everyone, actually. It's corrupting me, it's corrupting you. But I prefer if we use it in the right way. Let's use it in a way whereby, yes, we are educating yourself, but then what kind of information are you receiving on your end? And as much as we all have the information out there, not every information you should go with it. Not every aspect of how someone is telling you life is supposed to be, you should go with it. No. Maybe you're meant to perceive life in a different way, but you're just stuck onto the internet and you want to perceive life the way they perceive life. But maybe yours is a complex way. So, parental trauma. My oh my. It's not something small. It's not something you can easily say, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a glass of water and then I'll chuck it off. It really is deep. As much as people really take it serious, it really is deep, by the way. I would advise any father out there, stay as much as possible into your daughter's life. I would advise any mother or father out there, stay as much as possible into your daughter or son's life. Not everyone has a manuscript on how they're supposed to figure out parenting. No one really has the manuscript on how they're supposed to live the way of life. No one really has that manuscript. But one thing I do know for sure, the manuscript is in the Bible. The Bible is never wrong. It tells us the truth. But then, not everything you're being told you should believe.